Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast of Champions. My name is Kathy. Today is Tuesday, um, April the 18th, and I wanted to say welcome to everyone this morning. And we are hosted by Marilyn Denise Coaching Services, and we are on Monday through Friday from start at 5:30 in the morning, and we get started about 6 o'clock with our speakers. And we are, like I said, hosted by Marilyn Denise Coaching Services Monday through Friday. And the lines open up about 5:30, and you can come in and get you some good worship music, praise and worship to get your day started. And it's played by Nene Houston. And then we'll go in and with our speakers, and we'll have prayer and just have a good time in the Lord this morning. I want to welcome my co-host, Miss Regina. I'm going to check and see if she's on this morning. Yep, she's on this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and get started with a prayer and do a scripture this morning. And just go ahead and get the day started. The thing I'm going to read this morning is called Small Straws by In a Soft Wind by Marsha. I think it's Marsha Warfield. It's called Refuse to be overwhelmed by the challenges you face. When you get rattled, you must take an even strain, quieten your soul, and settle down. As for wisdom, without a doubt, you will receive it. Do not allow fear to overcome your senses. Remember that you are strong and courageous. You are an overcomer. Ephesians 6:10-11. Finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So I just want to encourage you with that this morning. And we're going to go ahead and get started with a prayer. Father God, we just thank you this morning, Lord God. I thank you, Father, for just allowing us to be here this morning. I thank you, Father, for watching over us on last night, oh God, and continuing to watch over us throughout the day, Father God. I thank you, Lord, for just allowing your presence to be in the room, Father God. Hallelujah. We give you glory and we give you honor, Father God. We worship you, Lord, and we praise you, Father God. We set you up higher than any circumstance or situation, Father God, that will try to come in and hinder us, oh God, Father. We bless your name and we magnify you, Father God. We ask, Lord God, that you just cover Miss Marilyn this morning, Lord God. We ask that you just continue to be with her and open up different ideas to her, Lord God. We ask that she's able to hear you by your spirit, Father God. I ask a special prayer, Lord God, for the covering of the ladies on the line this morning, Lord God. I thank you, Father, for just allowing them to be back into the room this morning, to get up early this morning, Lord God, to get into your presence, Father God. Ask that you meet each one of our needs, Lord God. Hallelujah. Ask that you watch over our family members and our friends, Lord God, as we go about our day. And we just continue to speak your word, whatever that word is, oh God, concerning our situations and circumstances, Lord Father. Hallelujah. We continue to give you all the praise and all the glory. In Jesus' mighty name we pray, amen. Amen. Again, welcome this morning to the Breakfast of Champions room. And just want to say thank you for joining us this morning and being here with us. On yesterday, Miss Sabrina talked about chapter 10 of our book called Changing Places, the Law of Constructive Transition. And I was listening to her yesterday talk about that, and she was talking about how, sometimes the Lord will give you something, and everybody's not in the same position as you are as far as receiving it, and you want to step out on faith because you know it's something that the Lord spoke to you about, and everybody can't go where you go, or hear the word of the Lord that He gave to you. So on yesterday, my takeaways were, you know, when the Lord speaks to me and tells me something, you know, you don't have to run out and tell, everybody about it or whatever, because everybody's not going to be in agreement with you. So and then say if you expressed it to someone, a friend or a family member or something like that, and then they don't see it like you do, and they take it different, and they either try to talk you out of it, or they try to tell you not to rush into it, but in your heart of hearts that you've heard the Lord speak that word to you, and you want to be obedient and um do what the Lord tell you to do or ask you to do, and and step out by faith, and be in obedient to His word, and you want to do what He tell you to do, but the person that you made that expression to or whatever don't see it that way, that can kind of hurt your feelings, or put you in a situation to where you're kind of taken back or whatever. um I remember Felicia was talking about yesterday that we have to put ourselves in a right position with doing what we're supposed to do, be in our own right position to do what we're supposed to do. And she talked about doing things out of season, and I've been there. Actually, I've been on both ends of the spectrum, where maybe somebody has come to me and said something, and I kind of looked at them kind of strange or something like that, and just kind of talk them off the ledge or whatever. And and the Lord didn't speak it to me; He spoke it to them. And I'm the one that's bringing the criticism, or the one that's bringing the idea. So like I said, I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and you don't really want to talk people out of doing what the Lord say, and you want to be supportive of that person. You just don't want them to make a hasty decision. And I thought about that, and I kind of felt bad because like I said, I've been on both ends of that spectrum. Of talking the person off the ledge, and then I've been on the other end where I might tell somebody something, and then somebody's talking me off the ledge or whatever. But you just want to be obedient, and do the right thing. Um, I was listening to Bishop Jakes the other day. I think it was one day last week, and he was talking about taking the things personal, and I think sometimes when you don't have people supporting you, I take it personal. I'm gonna speak from my own perspective. I take it personal where that person don't join in and support you, and have your back and stuff like that. And I was listening to Miss Sabrina yesterday, and the book also stated too. You don't want to take those things personal, because the person that is supporting you or not supporting you, they're not going where you're going, and they're not they don't have the vision that God gave you, because He gave it to you. And so sometimes they don't see it the way you see it, and they can't go where you're going because God gave that vision to you. And then I know sometimes I take it personal, and it's not to attack the person. You know, you don't want to attack the person. You want to attack the problem. And people walk in the spirit anyway. We're all spirit beings. so we don't want to what I'm trying to say, we don't want to be mad at the person for not being on your side or not being cooperative or not being in your corner or something like that. And sometimes I've done that too, take it personal. And everybody might not want to you know step out on faith or have that what I'm trying to say, have that initiative to do, what you're doing. So you just have to kind of step back and, do your part, do what God asks you to do, and, see where it takes you or whatever. But that's my take on some of the things from yesterday. Miss Regina, would you like to join in the conversation this morning? What were your takeaways from yesterday?
Good morning, Kathy. Yeah, mine pretty much was the same as yours, where she was talking about, the best relationships can sometimes be like the ones that bring the biggest problems, so you just have to stay positive, be intentional, stay focused on what you plan on doing or whatever. Yeah, because a lot of times, people don't always support. You think, sometimes you might think you got like just the greatest idea, since sliced bread. And then when you run it by somebody else, they're not like receptive of it or whatever. And so, you just got to learn how to just take the good with the bad, and the bitter with the sweet. Sometimes, people can tell you some things that'll try to make you not want to do what you want to do or whatever. But if that's what the Lord has on your heart to do, you got to stay focused. And like I took down a few of the aha moments she was talking about yesterday about building blocks can be stumbling blocks. Understand that people may have positive motives, they may not, but you just always be confident in what you're doing and try to remain intact and remain hopeful about the possibility of restoration and all that. That's mainly it, just making sure that you first got to believe in yourself. You see so many stories where people have ideas and at first, like a lot of times nobody's ideal, then in the end it just blows up. And so that's like a lot of the things, if the Lord has placed something on your heart to do something, then it's just stay the course. Just stay the course. So that's pretty much what I took away from it as well.
Yes, I know where you said, but the stumbling blocks can be, the building blocks can become stumbling blocks. And I saw that here in the book, and that is so true. And you have such high hopes for people, especially like family, because I heard Donisha say also, she had her hopes up of, family members that were, she thought that would support her, and they didn't, and that kind of disappointed her. So that became a stumbling block, instead of a building block for her. And then I think Toya had spoke on, her transitioning with, school and stuff like that. And Katamra had made a statement also on yesterday that kind of stuck out to me where, when the thing does come to pass, nobody can take the credit but God. You can't say, I did this, or my mama helped me do this, or my boyfriend or my husband or whatever, you say God did this thing, and then, in your hearts of hearts, it was God, and that you heard from God, when he told you to step out, and do the thing or whatever, and it can be a scary thing too, also, I think, because, we all have faith, and, it's according to our faith. And without that faith, it's impossible to please God. And that's what he wants us to do, is to walk by faith and not by sight, walk by faith and not by feelings, and stuff like that. So um, it's a hard thing to do. And then, you want to have that confidence knowing that you did hear from God, and that you didn't miss the mark, and you want to know that he's the one that told you to do this thing, and you're not just doing it on a whim, or you just not doing it on your own, and stuff like that. So, yes, thank you, Regina, for sharing your takeaways from yesterday. I'm gonna check the chat here and see if anybody's saying anything. Toya says we have to trust God. Yes, ma'am, we do have to trust Him, and we have to, know that we're hearing from Him. Like I said, you don't want to just step out on your own and be left out there. God always makes a way, but you want to be wise in your decision. And do what He's asked you to do, and not just on a whim doing something or whatever. Um, I also took away the part where the writer said that in changing your places, like you're transitioning in your life. When you were a child, you spoke as a child, but as an adult, you want to grow up to do more mature things. And some people I went to school with, are still doing those childish things, and and just childish things. I'm not gonna go into detail, but just childish things. And I don't want to do that the rest of my life. There comes a time in people's lives where they should grow up and, be about the Father's business, and even if you don't want to do the things, the godly things, you should grow up in things, because like I said, we are adults now. We're not children. You're not in high school anymore. You don't want to continue down that road of doing childish things, because those things can, hinder you in the long run, So, but would anybody else like to share this morning what their takeaways were, or have a testimony of some sort that they would like to share? Sabrina did break it down really good yesterday. She did a good job of talking about just the doing of the transition, and where the part where Peter and Jesus, had the conflict. It's kind of like Jesus had to do, the will of the Father, and that's what He came to do, and that's what He was set out on doing. Even though He, was human, as being here on Earth, He still knew what His task was, to come here to do. That's what He set out to do, and He had His mind set on, getting that done. So, yeah, yesterday was really good. I'm trying to think. And the aha moments, I like those too. The 5 aha moments that were taken away. Realize that everyone cannot see and understand as you do. Like I say, everybody's not gonna get the ideal that God gave you, um, because He gave it to you. And then you have to understand that when you present it to somebody else and they, just don't see it the way you do, then you still have to step out by faith and do what God has asked you to do, to, leading you to do rather. And know about the building blocks and the stumbling blocks. Know the difference. Um, I know Sister Marilyn has said, about putting people in a second chair, a third chair, or something like that. You have to either remove yourself, or, sometimes God removes people from your life also if they are a hindrance to you, and you just can't seem to do it on your own. Sometimes God will remove those people, if they are causing, you some problems and stuff like that. Put distance up in between you. You're not as not say friendly, but you don't see people as much as you do, talk to them and stuff like that, as you usually would have in a relationship. So, but thank you guys for joining us this morning. Let me see. I think somebody's putting something in the chat here. Yes, great work, Kathy. Okay, thank you, Miss Shelley. Oh, and thank you, Miss Regina, for joining us this morning. Today we're going to have Mr. Harlan Bell. He's doing chapter 13, and it says, "When helping you is killing me, how to have healthy relationships with unhealthy people." I think he's on here already. Let me check and see if he's here. Yes, he's here. Um, Welcome, Mr. Harlan. We're going to go ahead and let you get started. If nobody else has anything they would like to share, or if if we can take a couple more, if somebody has something they want to say. We'll go
And
ahead
we
and
gave
let
them
Mr.
and we gave them 3, 2, and 1, and there it is. Good morning,
Ah,
everyone.
good morning, Mr. Harlan. Are you ready to come in this morning?
Let's do it.
Okay, well, we're ready. You go right
All
ahead.
right.
Take the floor.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you all see me? Hi, for those of you around the world, wherever you are, those of you that are here and present, you are definitely champions, because those that rise early, that means that you mean business. You are doing things on purpose. You want something. You're saying, God, I want what you have for me. Um, I am here to serve the will of the Lord and to help bring that to you as we all communicate. We are all learning. I am a servant leader, husband, father, certified life coach. I am here to help you remove hurdles out of your way so that you can live the life that God wants you to live, and that you can love your neighbor as yourself. Those 2 commandments, that's everything that I do hangs on that. So that's what we're here to do, and we're going to do only that. Today, we're talking about when loving you is hurting me. Make sure you mute your phone if you're not sharing with this, guys.
Because I gotta get
Or
it
else,
to the
or else you have to come on and teach us. You ready? All right. So, when loving you or when helping you is killing me or hurting me, um, guys, I don't know a person who hasn't been through something where they've been, trying to do something either for, it doesn't matter what area of life. You guys will always hear me talk about, the full core areas of life: faith, family, finance, and health. And so it doesn't matter where the relationship is. It's at home, at work, at church. It's anywhere abroad. Someone, or you have been trying to help someone, but helping them has been hurting or killing you, because they're not doing, they're not putting in on this. They're not helping to bring life to this situation, whether it be dating, whether it be marriage, whether it be your child, whether it could be a spouse, it could be a sibling. There's a lot of people in your life, and it doesn't matter how few or how many. There's always someone who doesn't appreciate what you're doing for them. There's always someone who does not bring anything to the table. All they do is come to the table to eat, but they never bring anything with them to give to anyone else. And they don't care if you spent all year preparing, all night, all day, months, weeks. They don't care. They just came to take. They didn't come to bring anything. And then they want to take plates away. They want to fix these to go plates. They want to take all your strength, all your energy. They want to take all your wisdom, but they're not going to use it. They're going to take all your resources, but they're not going to use them properly. They're going to take, everything that you have to give out, giving nothing in return. They don't appreciate it. They say they love you, but the actions say that that's not what the case is. And so, when, we all have these situations, or have had, you either have had it already, or you continue to have them, depending on, based on your decisions and what you're doing once you see these things happening, or you're going to have it. Because, you can raise all your children, you can raise them with love, you can raise them all with, the word of God. and you can and one does what they're supposed to do, the other does not, and the other sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And some kids can look at you and act like you've done absolutely nothing for them, and you've done everything for them. And they'll go tell the world that my parents weren't there for me, and you've been there every step of the way. So and I've already used Abraham and Lot as an illustration, so I'm not going to repeat that. So as for my scriptural reference, I'm going to use Hosea. And so um, when you love someone and it's hurting you, or you're helping someone and it's hurting you or killing you to do that, that means that that person is draining the life out of you. That means that you are in a emotional tug of war. Your heart is being pulled in two different directions. Your mind and your heart are one. They're being pulled in two different directions. One is saying, let them go, leave. And the other one is saying, stay, because you need to help them. Maybe it's going to get better. Maybe they're going to die without you. So you feel bad because you don't want to leave them, because you think that you've been chosen to help them. Well, if that's not a spouse, then that's a whole nother game. If that's just, it doesn't matter if it's, parent, sibling, friend, you're not married to them. They have a parent, they're supposed to be teaching you. They're not supposed to be pulling things away from you. The parent is supposed to be they were supposed to have done their job teaching you and then live that example. And then some parents will say, do as I say, not as I do. Get out of my face with that. Don't tell me something that you're not going to do. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not going to do first. That's not right. That's a hypocrite. And don't sit there with a crack rock or a beer can, or you rob this bank and you tell me don't be a thief. Don't sit there with this liquor in your hand and tell me don't you ever drink, son. Don't sit there and you smoke it and tell me don't smoke. Do what you're telling me to do. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't tell me one thing and then do another right in my face, because people are watching you and they're going to do what you do. People watch your actions more than they hear your words, because when you're talking, people are usually not paying attention unless it's all about them. And when it's not all about them, they don't want to sit and listen. They don't want to have the conversation when you got to give them truth and tell them that what they're doing is not right. What they're doing is sabotaging their lives. What they're doing is not helping them. What they're doing is hurting you. Then if they're not ready to change, they don't want truth. They're not trying to hear that. And so when you have turmoil in your heart continually, when someone is when you're trying to help someone or love someone and they're killing you and hurting you, that's turmoil. You even have a tug of war in your sleep. You have a tug of war when you leave and you're on your job. You're trying to take care of business. You still got these thoughts in your head about this person or these people, however many of them they are. And you have all this wrestling going on because you don't want them doing what they're doing in your life. And then you feel guilty or you feel bad or you feel sorry for them, and you don't just cut the situation off, but you keep dealing with it, knowing that it's killing you. And so we take the prophet Hosea, for example, and God comes to him, says, Hosea, yes, Lord, go take this whore. She's a prostitute. I want you to go marry her. What? Wait a minute, God. You want me to go pick a prostitute that you picked out and you want me to marry her? Like, she sells her body every day to men for money. And you want me to go and turn this whore into a housewife? Y'all not talking to me. And so Hosea does what God says. Now, God, why you want me to do this again now? Well, because my children are whoring on me. They are serving these false idol gods. And so you marrying your wife, her name is Gomer. You marrying Gomer is exactly what the children of Israel are doing to me. So I want you to, understand what I'm dealing with my children over here, so you can speak to them the way I want you to speak to them, and you can speak to them and you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying to them, where I'm coming from. So God is asking this man, giving him the charge to go marry an unfaithful woman that he knows is not going to be faithful to his man of God, to his son Hosea. And he's asking him to do this because look at us. We always cheating on God. We're always doing something else. Okay, God, I'm all in with you today. Okay, but I'm not now. Okay, tomorrow I'm not. I don't have trust. I don't have faith. I'm going to go over here and backslide, and I'll be back next week. I'll be back next month. I'll be back next year. I'm going to go over here and go onto the psychic network because I don't have a prophet at my church. And I'm trying to find out if this man is the right man for me. So I'm going to go ask the devil's child, the devil's servant, because God's servants are not being obedient enough to be led by his spirit. So I'm going to go over here and ask the devil's child to tap into the realm of the spirit and try to tell me if this man is the right man for me, if this person is the right person for me, if I'm going to get this money, if I'm going to get this job. So God is like, my children are whoring on me. They're worshiping idols and all type of they're doing all type of sinful things. They're cheating on me. So Hosea, I want you to go marry this unfaithful woman, because what I'm having you to preach, I want you to know what I feel when I look at all of you, and this is what you're doing. So Hosea goes and takes this woman and marries her. They have kids. He doesn't know if the kids are his or if they come from prostitution. The Bible doesn't make that really clear, because it gives us room to think that maybe she had some of these kids, maybe she had some of these kids doing because she kept leaving, and he would have to go and get her back. She would be just out there because that I don't know how she got there, but the enemy deceived her into thinking, I don't know what happened in her childhood. I don't know if she had any family and that was her only means to earn money, but she was locked into that mindset of seeking that even after he married her. She was still steady going back. She needed to be delivered from that mindset. That was, to her, that was all she knew. I don't know how long she had been doing that. She could have been doing that since she was a young teenager. So that was all she knew. And so here she is. She's got this man that wants to love her, and she doesn't even know how to be loved. She doesn't even know what love is. And she keeps running away from him. He got to go buy her back, because that's what God had to do for us. We keep running away from him. So he had to put himself in a flesh body, God in the flesh. He had to put himself in the flesh body, birth himself through his own child, so that he could come and shed his perfect blood to save us. And so he wanted Hosea to warn the people and explain to them how they were hurting him, how they were disappointing him by continually serving these false gods, these false idols, and sinning and all this immorality and murder and perversion and idolatry, all these things. Loving them, the serving the flesh, and just steadily they want to come to God to get his blessings, but they don't want to obey. They don't want to love God with all their heart. They don't want to trust him. They want to, because they think, because I'm not looking at him, God's not here. Because he's not sitting right in my face, he's not here. So I'm going to make me an idol that I can look at. And so Hosea is embarrassed. All the whole town, everybody knows about your wife, what men she's laying with and spreading herself and giving her body to, and you faithful to her. You got kids, 3 kids. You not out there beating on her and cheating on her, and she out here cheating on you, selling her body, and she's got a husband and kids at home. And everybody knows that you're the prophet of God. You're teaching, you're telling people about what God is going to do, how good he is, and what God is going to do if we don't act right, and what God will do if we obey. And you're telling us all these wonderful things. And here your wife is over here whoring on you. She's over here selling her body for money. She dropping it like it's hot to whoever makes it rain. So you look like a fool. You out here preaching and telling people about this wonderful God who can do all things, who's all seeing and all knowing. But yet, Hosea, why you marry this woman? Why are you out here trying to be faithful to her? It's your heart is in turmoil. You got this tug of war going on. You need some love painkillers. I wrote a song called Love Painkillers, and that's what it's about. It's about Hosea's struggle, this type of struggle. When you're loving someone, you're giving them all you got, and they feel like they steadily trying to pull the life out of you. Their emotions, they don't treat you right. They don't talk to you right. They're not doing. This woman was cheating on this man. You selling your body with all these different men. I don't know if you got a disease. I don't know if these babies are mine or not. And that's how people in the world, they don't know, is this God's child, or is this the devil's child? Because this week I saw you praising God, but next week I saw you, you got depression, now you're schizophrenic, now you got, now you smoking drugs, and you snorting cocaine, you turning up the liquor bottle, you want to leave your spouse, you beating on your kids, or you don't want to be a mom, you don't want to be a dad this week. So people are confused. You getting divorced, or you leaving your husband, you leaving your wife. Did they beat on you? Did they cheat on you? So people in the world, in this life, they don't know, who you belong to. You belong to God. You belong to the devil. What's going on? So Hosea don't know if these his kids. He didn't ask her if they were his. He did what God told him to do, and he stayed faithful to this woman who doesn't even know what love is. She can't even receive love because she's never had that. All she knows is the people using her. All she knows is that she's doing what she thinks she has to do. That's all she knows. How many times you did something because that's all you knew, but it wasn't working. It wasn't making you feel better. It wasn't making you feel complete. It wasn't making you feel whole. It wasn't making you feel like life was what it should be. But you keep doing it because that's all you knew. That's what my grandmother did. That's what my grandfather did. That's what my mom did. That's what my dad did. That's what my aunts did. That's what my uncles do. That's what my older siblings do. That's what my friends do. Everybody walking around you in this emotional tug of war, nobody able to counsel the other when one generation should be able to counsel the other, but generations are learning what they should be teaching. And so you may have a parent and all they do is interfere and or mess with things, and they don't live right, and you keep trying to spend, you and your spouse, whether you're single, you trying to help your parent, and they have money but they've used it unwisely, and now you falling behind on your bills. You got a child and all they do is get in trouble, or they do make bad decisions, and you got to go and clean it up because it's your kid and you love them and you want them to be better. But you and your spouse are arguing because now you're pulling money out of your accounts. Your emergency fund is getting low. Your savings account is getting low. Your checking account is in the negative because you got to bail them out, or you got to go and pay for this fine, or you got to go, whatever it is that they've done. or you got this friend, or maybe it's your spouse, and they won't stay out of bad things. They won't stay out of harm's way. They won't stop doing things that cost your love, your time, your money. They're hurting you. They're killing you. They're taking away from you. They won't treat you right. You give them love, and all they do is talk crazy to you. You give them love, and all they do is keep abandoning you. You give them love, and all they do is punch you in the face because they don't like themselves. And oh, by the way, when you said something, oh, that made me mad. And so I hit you. It's your fault that I hit you. But you don't leave because you love them, because you remember when you were dating them and it wasn't so bad. They were great. They seemed to be this great person. They were showing you the best side of them so that they could get into your life, because they knew if they showed you who they really are, you would have walked away from the first week. But they pretended to be this great person. They pretended to be kind. They pretended to be caring. They pretended to be understanding. They pretended to be somebody that you could depend on. They pretended to be loving so that they could get into your life. And now that they're in your life, now they're starting to show you, oh, I'm not responsible. I'm not caring. I'm not considering you before I consider myself. I don't consider you when I make decisions. I make bad decisions. I'm bad with money. I'm bad at love. I love, but I'm bad at it. That's Usher wrote a song like that. I love, but I'm bad at it. That doesn't even make sense. If you love, then you won't hurt people. Hurting people hurt people. Whole people help people. If you're helping someone, you're loving them, you're doing these things. But all they do is take. All you do is mistreat me. All you do, you talk crazy, or you don't talk at all. If you're here, it's not enjoyable with you because you complain about everything. The food ain't right. The sheet ain't right on the bed. The clothes ain't right on the closet. The couch is bothering you where it's sitting. No, something is wrong with you. You don't have any contentment. You don't have any peace. And you're bringing me all this drama because you don't love yourself. You don't know God, obviously, because if you knew him, you would have peace. And you didn't tell me these things when we were dating. You didn't tell me that you had all these things. You didn't tell me you were schizophrenic. You didn't tell me you hear voices. You didn't tell me you're angry at your father. You didn't tell me you're angry at your mother. You didn't tell me that you don't know how to manage money. You didn't tell me that you don't believe in being faithful. Y'all not talking to me. This is a lot going on. And this is what people are dealing with every day. And the song I wrote called Love Painkillers, the lyrics says, I want to make it work, even though it hurts. I try my best to leave, but that just makes it worse. I need some love painkillers because it's killing me loving someone who doesn't even know how to love. I'm trying to love you, and all you keep doing is trying to hurt me on purpose. You're doing this, so nobody's making you mistreat me. Nobody's making you blow our money. Nobody's making you talk crazy to me. Nobody's making you neglect me. Nobody's making you sit in another room and not talk to me. Nobody's making you not read your Bible, not give yourself to the Lord. Nobody's making you go and talk to the devil and do what he wants you to do. Nobody's making you do that. You are choosing to mistreat yourself, and in the process, you're killing me. You're choosing to mistreat me. You're choosing to not come to the table with everything you have. You're choosing not to become whole in your mind. You're choosing not to receive wise counsel. You're choosing to drink that alcohol. You're choosing to smoke that drug or snort that cocaine or go and lay with that other woman or go and lay with that other man. You're choosing to go and hang out with your friends and not come home and deal with your family, not be a husband, a responsible husband, not be a responsible father. You're choosing this and you're killing me. I'm married to you. You gave me this ring. You promised me, and you're not keeping any of your promise. It's killing me to love you. And I want to leave, but I keep thinking about when it was good. And here I am stuck trying to love you because I'm thinking maybe they'll turn around. Maybe God wants to do something. I know you're not saved yet, and neither one of us was saved when we got married, but here we are, and you still haven't changed. Somebody said something earlier about people still acting like a child. I know men 50, 60 years old, they still act like they did when they were in high school. They haven't matured not one bit. If you meet them and you talk to them, they're still talking about what we did in high school. Dude, do you know that was 40 years ago? Did you not grow up from 18? Are you still stuck in your high school memory? Was that all you think that you have? The enemy has deceived you into thinking that you have to stay there, that was your glory days. That's not the best of you. That was last, that's over. And you got people, they still have the same maturity level. They haven't grown up. They haven't wised up. And they just doing the same things. They're making the same dumb mistakes, still going to jail for tickets that you could pay. You work, pay the ticket. You're killing me. We trying to bail you out of jail for a ticket you could have paid. Son, daughter, spouse, father, mother, niece, nephew, friend, cousin, whoever it is. When people don't want to be responsible, they want you to take up their responsibility. They will drain your heart. They will drain your mind. They will drain your bank account. They will cause your marriage to break up. They will cause families to break up. They will cause friendships to break up. They will cause you to lose your job. There's people out here who have kids with people, and they're getting these people fired. You know that the devil is ruling your mind when you go out there and you have kids with someone and you are allowing the enemy to mess you up so bad in your thinking. You got stinking thinking. You are trapped in your mind. You don't even understand right and wrong. You don't even care about consequences. You can't even see it because the enemy is using you to destroy yourself and destroy the person that you say you love. And you people out here getting people fired from jobs. How are they going to help you if they don't have a job? How are they going to take care of the kid that they help you make if you keep getting them fired off of jobs? It's something really wrong. You need Jesus and counseling. So to love someone who's not loving you back, that's what we've done to God. All these years, ever since sin came in. And God he allows us this thing called grace and mercy. It's called grace and mercy is God's unearned favor. We did not earn it. He gave it to us. He put himself in a body. So I got to go and redeem my children because they have sinned against me, and nothing that they could ever do can atone for that sin. They can't be religious. You can't do a ritual. You can't fast enough. You can't pray enough. You can't ever live these laws. If you break one law, you've broken them all. So I need to go and redeem my children and give them my grace because I love them, but I repent that I made them because their hearts, now that they have disobeyed me and allowed the enemy to whisper in their ear, and they believe that. And now they know good and evil. Now they have to live and die. Now they have to know pain. Now they have to know suffering. Now they have to know what it's like to have to go through things that I never wanted them to go through. How many times you tell your child something hoping that they don't go through that, they don't repeat the mistakes that you made or somebody else that you shared with them made, and you tell them and you teach and you instruct them, and you're hoping that they get it. You guys can keep typing in the chat. Type your comments, your feelings, your thoughts, your questions. Keep typing while I'm talking, and we'll talk about it. And you're teaching your child, and you're telling them, and you're hoping that they get it. And then they go and do some of the same things. You want to choke them out? You do. You want to just, why would you do that? I told you that what would happen. Well, I didn't know. I wanted to see from. You don't go and see for yourself. You take me at my word. That's all God has ever wanted for us to do, is take him at his word. He don't want you to go over there and find out what it's like to get burned. He doesn't want you to go over there and find out what it's like to have your heart broken. He doesn't want you to go over there and find out what it's like to have your limbs broken. He doesn't want you to go and find out what it's like to be betrayed or abandoned or neglected or lied on, talked about. He don't want you to know what it's like to be mistreated. And you want to tell me you want to go over there and experience it? Are you crazy? Why would you want to go and feel any type of pain? And some people are married to pain because they don't know how to let go of the offense. They don't know how to let go of what they did. They don't know how to let go of what mama did, what daddy did or didn't do, what whoever hurt them. And they live in this state and they're stuck. And they think that they're punishing mom or dad with what they're doing. You're abusing your life. You're abusing your body. You're abusing your mind. You're abusing your free will. You're abusing your opportunities because you think if I do this, I'm punishing my mom or dad. I'm hurting them, and that should really make them mad. You're killing yourself, and then you bring other people into this. Then you go out there and you have babies with people, and you bring kids into this crazy turmoil that you have going on. Your life is jacked up. Your life is messed up because you want to stay in this place. You want to stay in Hurtville. You want to stay in offended. You want to stay in unforgiveness. You want to stay in brokenness because you sitting here asking, why did they do this? They did it because they were broken. They did it because they were messed up. You don't punish yourself by staying where they left you. They might have left you for dead. They might have abused you. They might have raped you. They might have molested you financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally. They might have done lots of things. But if you allow yourself to stay there, you're repeating what they did to you. Now you're doing it to yourself. Now it's a self-inflicted wound. Now it's not them doing it, it's you. And then here I am trying to love you, and you can't even receive it. All you keep doing is just throwing evil back in my face. You keep throwing mistreatment back in my face. And I'm trying to give you everything. We're draining everything. You're taking the life out of me. And I'm giving everything I got to love you, forgiving you, taking care of you, talk right to you, treat you right. But you keep throwing these things at me that I have nothing to do with. Your last person that you dated did that, or your ex-husband did that, or your ex-wife, or whoever the person is. Your kid did that. Your parents did that to you. That stranger did that to you. And you're self-sabotaging your own life because you don't want to let go. You don't want to understand that was then, this is now. You have to choose to break those chains, to break those chains off your mind, to surrender to the Lord and say, Lord, deliver me from myself. Deliver me from what they did to me. Deliver me from this wrong mindset of sabotaging and hurting myself and hurting the people that love me. And if you're the person on the other side, Lord, show me how to let go of people who are killing me, who are taking from me, who are taking my peace, stealing from my joy, stealing from my life, draining me of all my resources, of all my strength, all my time. They're just taking advantage of me. Help me let them go. Help me to release them into your hands. I've done all I could for them. They don't want to seek you. They don't want to go to counseling. They don't want to get help. You try to make me feel guilty for if I say no. Maybe you're on the side where somebody's taking from you. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a child or a sibling or a friend that you need to, maybe it's people in your past that you're still trying to hang out with that you need to let go of. Because when loving you is killing me, something has to change. I'm not going to sit here and die. If it's a spouse, get to marriage counseling. You stay on, you pray, you go to counseling, you don't pray and do nothing. You watch and pray, you move. Let's go to counseling. If you want to stay here and die, don't try to kill me. Whatever is hurting you, let's deal with it. Because no man, no woman who actually loves themselves is going to hurt their spouse. They're not going to hurt their child. How many times we turn on the news every day, a mother has killed her child, their children, or maybe themselves. A father has killed his wife and his children, and then maybe himself. Another person is killed or hurt another person. Hurting people hurt people. Whole people help people. Any person that is not in the will of God, they are dangerous. They're deadly. They could snap at any moment. When loving you is killing me, I gotta make a decision. You think you want to be the captain and just go down with the ship? If you don't want to let go, because all it takes is forgiveness, all it takes is me going to talk about it in trusted counseling. All it takes is me surrendering it to God. God, I give you all my hurts. He said, cast all your cares on me. God, I give you all my hurt, all my pain, all my disappointments, all my stinking thinking. Everything. I give you all the broken pieces. The potter wants to put you back together, but you've got to get on the potter's wheel. You've got to say, God, here I am. God, my decisions are horrible because I haven't been making them with you. I give myself completely. I surrender all that I am. Jesus, take the wheel. I surrender everything to you. I'm not withholding anything. I give you all my brokenness, all my hurt, all my pain, everything. Lord, I forgive like you forgave me. Lord, give me the strength. Help me to let go of these people who keep taking from me. It's killing me to love them. It's killing me to be in the household with them. It's killing me to be friends with them. It's killing me to be their son, their daughter, their sister, their brother. You can love someone without killing yourself. If a person does not want, when a person wants help, they admit that they need help. If they don't admit they need help, what you're doing to them is not helping them. You're just enabling them. If you give them money, whatever they were doing, they're going to keep doing that. When the person, see, if I take you to rehab, it doesn't work. You have to go to rehab because you say, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm a drug addict, or whatever your addiction is. I'm a porn addict. I'm a sex addict. Whatever your addiction is, you have to say that. If I say it, it's just an opinion. When you say it, to you, it's a fact. Then and only then will change break off of you. Then and only then will things change, or you'll be able to receive help. When you admit you need help. When that person that you're helping admits that they need help, and they go get that help. See, it doesn't matter if you're on drugs. It doesn't matter if you're demonized and the devil is trying to control your mind. It doesn't matter if you're on cocaine. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're addicted to, you still have free will. You still have a choice. You're just allowing other things to influence you. but you have the power. So don't think that when people are doing something that they don't have any choice in it. They do. It doesn't matter what is in your mind, what is going on, what drug you're on, what influence you're under, natural or spiritual, you still have a choice. You still can decide, I need help. I want off of this. I'm tired of being on the bottom, on rock bottom. I'm tired of killing myself. I'm tired of abusing myself. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of hurting and draining the people that love me. If a person wants help, they have to say they want help. They have to mean that. The people in your life, if they're pulling on you, if it's your child, whoever it is, sometimes you have to understand that helping them is not enabling them, not giving them the money to buy the drug, not giving them the money to go whatever and gamble. Whatever it is that they're doing to hurt themselves, however they're abusing themselves, they keep going to jail. You might have to let them stay there, because as long as you keep betting them out, they keep going back, right back, because they have put nothing in on this. They have no value. It means nothing to them. They are allowing the enemy to use them to destroy themselves. They are not being, they have not made the decision to have courage to fight for their lives. You can't fight for them. You try to help them as much as you can until you realize, wait a minute, they don't want to help themselves. You keep praying for them, but if you put them in rehab, it's not going to work. They have to want to go. They have to say, I need help. I'm tired of doing this to myself. I want to change. I know that's hard. Sometimes it could be a spouse. It could be a parent. You know how many kids have watched their parents do things that destroy themselves, and they tried all they could, or a spouse, or a child, or a friend, or brother, or sister. Guys, when it comes to the point, if you don't let things destroy your marriage, trying to help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. You don't lose your house and your life, your living, your job, trying to help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. I know we love them. No one wants their son, their daughter, their spouse out there doing anything, out there on the streets, out there homeless or strung out or in another city, and or whatever it is. None of these situations, we don't want any of them to happen. But sometimes people make decisions, or sometimes other people do things to people that get them on this path. But no matter who did it, how, when, where, that person has to decide, I don't want to do this to myself. I don't want to do this to you. And you have to learn. We have to know when to let go. Letting go doesn't mean that I don't care. Letting go means that I understand that what I'm doing is not helping. And Lord, I have to put this in your hands. Lord, I need you to fix this. I need you to put an angel in their lives. I need you to minister to them. Lord, I need you to help them. I've done all I know to do, and it's not changing. And it's killing me. It's affecting our marriage. It's affecting our household. We've put a second mortgage on our house. We've got a title loan on our car. We've drained our 401k. They're killing you. Your heart is broken. And so this is what God asked Hosea to do, because this is what God did for us. And so if that's you, I pray that God will give you the strength, whatever it is, especially sometimes these things, it's not that is bad. I named some bad things, some hard, really hard things. But there's some very simple things. Sometimes it's not rocket science. It's just the fact that this person does not want to do right. They don't love you. They don't respect you. They don't value you. They don't value your time, your life, your money, your efforts, nothing. And you're dating them. Why would you do that? That you should not ever have made it to that point. If you're dating and this is going on in your life and someone shows you that they don't value you, immediately walk away. You don't give them another chance to hurt you. You should not be having sex with them. You should not have anything. You should know these things before you ever put anything into it. You should not be throwing your feelings into anything. You should be just You're right now, this is an interview. If we're dating, it's an interview. And it's going to be a long one. So you guys are giving these quick interviews. Oh, they said they had do this. They said they do that. They said, I don't care what they said. You take your time. You get to see them in different environments. Listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing. Is it the same thing? Is that what you want? They should have nothing to do with your body. They should not know anything about your body. Because if that's what they're trying to get to, that's the wrong thing. You should not be trying to get to this. You should be trying to find out, is this person sane? Do they know what love is? Do they know what a relationship is? Do they love God? Because if you're trying to date the devil's sons, don't ask him to be Mr. Romance. Don't ask him to be Mr. Love. Don't ask him to be Mr. Right. You can't date people who don't love God and expect him to be right. It's hard enough dating people that say they love God and then they treat you wrong. But you certainly don't date someone who tells you clearly that they don't serve God. If they don't serve the Jesus that you serve, why are you talking to them? They're going to hurt you. They're going to break you. You did that to yourself. You don't marry someone who doesn't love God. You need to love God. Anything that's separated from God will malfunction. It will kill you. It will destroy you. It will break you. If I don't love God with all of my heart, how can I love you as myself? Come on, guys. We've got what we see every day, the news, all these murders, all these from the top to the bottom. All these bad things we see that the Bible has already told us would be. These things have one solution. You are out, you don't live the will of God. If God is not the master of your life, guess who is? When loving you is killing me, I have to make a decision. I've said a lot. I could say more, but I'll say less. I hope that you've been helped. I hope that I provoked something in you. I'm talking very hard to you because you need that. You need this tough love. You need to stop sitting there. You need to quit waiting and thinking that this is going to change, this is going to do better. You have to make decisions. You stop allowing people to make decisions for you. Their decisions, they've shown you what they're going to do. Now it's time for you to start making some decisions. If people who say they love you, they're not willing to go to God, they're not willing to go to counseling, they don't love you. They don't love themselves. And they're going to keep draining you. If it's a spouse, if they're not cheating on you, if they're not beating on you, then you get to counseling, you keep fighting for love. If it's a date, somebody you're dating, you simply exit and never go back. You don't do that to yourself. Value your life. If it's a sibling, you simply let them know. No, can't do that anymore. I'm not using you. Nope, I can't keep bailing you out of jail. Nope, I can't keep bailing you out of that situation. Nope, I'm not going to keep moving your furniture every time you break up with a boyfriend. You won't have any business living with him. If he won't marry you and then move in with you, why are you talking to him? Stop dating the devil's children and expecting them to act like godly children. You've got to be kidding me. I've said enough. Talk to me, ladies. Trying to read the chat.
Good
I've
morning,
always.
Brother
Oh, go
Dylan.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hi, Shadi.
Hey,
How are you?
hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Good, good. I wasn't gonna jump in. I promise I was gonna sit back and just kind of absorb
You better
um
jump in there.
all this information. It was a lot, brother. It was a lot. It was a lot. You definitely touched on a lot of topics and things that I've been battling with for the last couple of months. And I'm sorry, I have my thing in my teeth, my so if you hear me lisping, that's what it is.
I can understand you clearly.
Okay. So when you touched on the relationships, for me, um, when killing you is hurting me, it is so on point in my life because friendship to me is so important. Relationships to me is so important. I take my relationship with God very, very, very seriously. And a lot of the relationships that I've had, they don't take it as seriously as I would hope. And I try to hang on to these relationships thinking that I can change them, or I can show them the way of the Lord. I can, build relationships and coach them into, showing them what God, the love of God looks like. And it hurts me. It's draining me. It's killing me. And it's so funny, like when you put it all into perspective, and you brought up Hosea, just all of it tied into everything that I was feeling and couldn't put words to. So I thank you, brother, for putting words to what I was feeling, what I was, the friendship that I have that I let go. I didn't want to let go, but God kept letting me let it go. He kept saying, Shelly, this is not the relationship for you. He literally moved me 2 counties away from this person. And yet I still drove 2 counties to involve myself in something that I should not have involved myself in. And it set me back tremendously. So I thank you so much for not even knowing that you were going to say that today. It just let me know, because I was going to call her back and say, you know what, how's everything? How you doing? That's just me. I'm a check-in person. I'm a coach. That's what we do. But sometimes, like you said, we have to let people go. And when they are ready, to receive the help, to receive that love, to receive whatever you're willing to give them, then, that's God's perfect timing. But thank you so much again for just you letting God use you today, for the words that you poured out. Thank you so much.
To God be the glory. Thank you for sharing and letting us know that this conversation that we're having is that God was able to give you clarity and understanding and freedom. That's why we're here, guys, and that's why we can't remain silent when we know that we need help. We have to say something. We have to say, "Ouch, that hurt." We have to say, "Hey, I'm bleeding. I need to be, be repaired." And so, in this situation, what God knows exactly what we need. He knows, and that's the difference in when God is speaking. He won't miss. He won't miss. If you are here, I don't believe that you were missed, because God's word doesn't miss. And I don't speak from my feelings. I don't speak from my opinion. I speak only by the Holy Spirit. That's all I know. And then it is God's word, not mine. And so God will not miss you, no matter where you are, no matter what subject topic we're talking about. God will not allow the Holy Spirit to miss you, because you are his daughter, you are his child. He wants you to be free. He wants you to be whole. And see, sometimes we have these relationships and we think that we're wrong if we step away, we walk away, or we cut it. See, we have to have the understanding and wake up and say, God, whatever relationship, whatever dealings in my life that that is not purpose, that is not part of your plan for my life, I give you complete permission to sever it. And give me the wisdom and understanding to know that it's you, so that I won't try to put my hands back on it anymore. I give you permission to break everything off of my life, to sever any relationship that is not of you, that is not right for me, or my children, or my spouse. We have to be willing to do that, guys. Somebody says, I've learned that when I find myself by myself going through a situation, is that God needed me by myself so that I wouldn't come out as a carbon copy of anyone else. And that's why we have to spend alone time with God. See, life pulls at us, our spouses, our children, our work, the cares of this life. That's why we have to get up early. This is what you guys are doing right now. You have to get up early and spend time with God, so that he can tell you about you, so he can tell you about his plans for your life. But if you're always running around asking everybody else what you should do, you're not listening to God. You're listening to them. You can't get, God can speak no matter what. He can speak no matter what's going on. But if you're not listening, you keep asking them instead of asking him. Let's see. So if someone wants to jump in, do that. Someone says some people need to come with a side label of side effects. Well, I tell you this, Everyone has a label right here that says, make me feel special, love me. I am fragile. Oh, I have some broken pieces. Um, I've been hurt before. I've been lied to. Everyone has that. I'm afraid. I want love, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what to do with it. Everyone has those labels on them. They do have them. They just mask them. They smile and they tell you things you want to hear, and they lie to themselves and they lie to you. And then they get you into a friendship or relationship or courtship, whatever, a marriage, whatever it is. And then the skeletons start coming out, who they really are. The things start falling off. All these masks they put on start falling off. And now you see, oh wow, you lied to me. And now we have married, now we have a home, now we have children. And you lied to me the whole time. That's not who you were. You got all these broken pieces. You're bleeding all over the place. You got all these masks, and now you want to take them off and show me who you are. And you didn't give me a real opportunity to choose to be with you. You faked. You lied to me. So sometimes people do that. And that's what most people do until they learn better. I've always wondered why, when people grow up in a bad situation like abuse, cheating, etc., and they hate and despise the parent for doing it, and they grow up and do the same things that they hated so much, a particular person, um, it just seems like it should make you be determined not to be that way. Can you expound on it? Yes, it's called repeating a pattern. It's called generational uh, spirits. It's called you and what you do. You have to decide. That just because that's the pattern in my family, that I'm not going to repeat that. Everybody in my family is lives check to check. That's not going to be me. Everybody in my family has broken marriages. That's not going to be me. Everybody in my family has, whatever it is. You don't have to repeat that pattern. That person repeats that because they didn't have the courage enough to stop. How can you turn around what broke you, what hurt you, what scarred you, what ripped you? Why would you turn around and do that to your child or another person? That makes no sense. That means that you didn't have the courage enough to break the chain, to break the pattern, to break that stronghold that is in your family, that the enemy has placed there through whoever the person was that started it. It will continue through generations if you don't stop it. It doesn't have to be the same exact sin, the same exact offense, the same exact thing. But if you don't break it, you have to make sure it stops with you, that you don't repeat that. But the only way to stop it is first of all, you have to forgive. And then you have to allow God to make you new, to erase all those things that they did to you. See, God wants to make you new. He doesn't want you to remain in those places with your broken heart, your scars. When you tell me about your life, I should be able to look at you and say, I can't even tell, because you're not living those patterns. You're not doing those same things. See, when people don't have courage, they'll keep doing those things. You have to have courage to let go. You have to have courage to forgive. You have to have courage to not make bad decisions. It takes courage. You have to understand that if you don't have courage, it's going to keep hurting. And there's a story of analogy. I don't know if it's a real story or if it's an analogy. This man walks into the store and he's trying to push the door open, but the door is hard to push open because the dog is laying there. And he pushes the door open and the dog is hollering and whining or whatever. So he asks the store owner, it's his dog. He asks him, why does that dog keep hollering? Why is he just sitting there? He said, oh, he's sitting on a nail. And he said, well, why won't he get up? The owner says, because it's not hurting him enough. When things hurt you enough, you should want to change them. You shouldn't have to sit there and wait till you're in extreme pain before you want to change. Some of you may be loving people that you know you should have let go of. It doesn't mean you don't love them if you let them go. That means that their season is over in your life, or you have to love them from whatever distance that you have from them. You don't sit there and let them keep bringing you pain. You don't have to do that. You can love them, but that doesn't mean you got to hang out with them. Sometimes when you not so up close to a person, they can see you better and you can see them better. And maybe you understand that this season, that whatever you were doing with them, that season is over. You have to be willing to let that go. And not you. We're not saviors. Jesus is. We are his vessels, but we can only do what people allow us to do. I can preach till Jesus comes. That doesn't mean you're going to receive it. I can tell you about forgiveness till Jesus comes. That doesn't mean you're going to receive it. You have to choose. It takes courage to do the right thing. It takes no effort to do the wrong thing. So that's why they keep repeating it, because it takes no effort to do wrong. And they have not chosen the courage to say, this stops with me. My children will never be broke. My children will never be abused. My children will never be neglected. My wife will not, or my husband will never go through what I went through. I will not take that to them. Whatever you experience, you're not supposed to bring that to another person. I don't care if it's a simple thing as, let's say this morning you got into a knockdown, drag out argument with your spouse. You're not supposed to take that to work. They are not supposed to know what happened at your house. You are not supposed to walk up in there with your bad attitude. You're supposed to leave that at home. You deal with that when you get back. You better be talking to God, saying, Lord, show me if I'm wrong or right. Show me what to do, how to do. You don't go to work telling those people about your business. You don't go into work slinging papers and knocking stuff and being short with people and that's not their fault. They didn't get into it with you. Stop taking your pain and bleeding on other people. You deal with it. You get in God's face. You deal with yourself. Be honest. Were you wrong? Even if you're right, you don't go and spread that to other people. They have no business knowing what you and your husband are arguing about. That's between you, him, them, and you, your husband, your spouse, God, and a counselor. Not your co-workers, not your family members, not your friends. They can't counsel you. They're trying to figure out how to work their own marriage. Know where to put things. And you won't be having to be, well, why y'all talking about, you told them what your business was. That's why they're in your business, because you put them in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is tough love right here. Then asking him to remove someone or something, and when he does it and it's happening, I would put on my Ray Charles shades and act like I didn't see him answering the prayers. That's what we do, guys. Sometimes when God telling us something, we not. he's telling us the right thing. See, the right thing takes effort. It doesn't take effort to do the wrong thing. You just say, "Oh, okay." All you have to do is be careless, not think about who's gonna hurt, not think about the consequences, not think about the cost. None of that. It takes no effort to do wrong. It takes effort and courage to make the right decision. And when God says let it go, you better not argue with him. You just have to let it go. That's where the blessing is. It's in obeying God. Stop trying to hold on to people that don't want to be held, because if they did, they'd be holding you back with love, not saying don't leave me because you're the only one I got. No, dude, you choosing what you want. Stop lying. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with my reality. Don't do it. Don't do that. I don't have time for that. Okay, that's the last one. Wait, let me see. All right. Okay, y'all talk to me, ladies. Anybody got anything? I think I've read everything in the chat. Somebody says, if you want to die, I'm not going with you. Don't do that. Don't let people kill you. Don't let people kill you. And if you're hurting, don't kill other people. Don't hurt people. Let them, you stay on. Don't bring kids into stuff, guys. That I don't understand how people keep going out here, and having kids with people, and that's not going to make you. Kids don't make love. Kids are the glory of the Lord. They don't make marriages work. If that be the case, everybody that have kids will still be married. It has nothing to do with you and your husband being in love. Babies do not make love in a marriage. Babies are babies for 2 years. After that, they're toddlers, then they're little children, then they're little young adults. Babies are babies for 2 years. Y'all stop doing that. You don't have kids with people thinking that that's going to make them love you. Why we got so many single parents, men or women? Babies don't make love. Babies make responsibility, daycare, food, clothes. Don't make you love each other. There's nothing you can do to make a person love you. There's nothing you can do to make God love you. He chose to love you. There's nothing you can do to make God stop loving you. He will never stop loving you, even when he has to tell you to depart from him if you don't obey him and you choose to go to hell. He still loves you. He just can't let you be in heaven with him. Stop confusing this thing called love. Loving you does not mean it has to kill me. It's not supposed to. Love doesn't kill people. Love builds people. Oh, I wasn't even trying to rhyme, but y'all tweet that. So just understand, guys, we don't have to hold things. Y'all talk to me. I know I work kind of hard this morning, but I have to. That's what I do. I don't play around with it. I like to go to the root of it. If you get to the root, then you got the problem. You can fix the problem. We don't know what's going on, then we just linger. All right? So I don't want to keep talking. I want to answer questions if you have them. If you don't, then I'm going to stop. So I'll give a few seconds for somebody to talk to me if you want to talk to me.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. This is Regina. So true. Like when helping you was killing me, just literally like the story of my life through like a lot of things. But I'm learning that, you know, when certain people call or try to just get a hold of you, it's only when they want to borrow money. I mean, they have a million excuses, everything is an emergency. Everything is a life or death thing or whatever, you know, situation. And then I'd be like, man, can't you ever just call to see how I'm doing? Hello, Regina, how are you? You know, I just want to call and check on you. It's always, I need. And then they'll come and they'll be like, oh, the Lord told me this about you. You're such an angel. I had a dream about you last night and white flowing angelic stuff. And 5 minutes later, asking for money. You know, and I just done got to where like with certain people, like my mama taught me, you know, young, you know, when you love, you give, you know, you try to help people, you know, if it's necessary, if it's needed. But then, you know, I run into situations where people they will drain you dry. They will drain you dry. So now I've just like been turning over a leaf, not with everybody, but with certain people, because every time they call, it's only, I mean, and then somebody's calling you 11, 12, 1 in the morning to borrow money. That is crazy. That sounds like drugs to me, where I'm just starting to hit the button, you know, don't answer it, don't text, just let it ring, because it's, you know, it's getting out of hand. You know, it's crazy to me how people do, you know, it'd be good sometimes somebody just say, wow, do you need something? Or how are you doing today? I was just calling to see, you know, just check in. People need to learn. Don't just go to people asking and begging and begging and begging. And then, you know, don't ever give back. You don't want to always just take away. You want to be able to bring something to the table sometimes, you know. So I'm learning that with one particular person, you know. So and yeah, so and everything you've said has been like straightforward. We know we're gonna get it straight, no chasing. So thank you very much.
That's all I know how to do. But you know, like, you know, with what you said, thank you for sharing. In like, you know, when you have you know, relationships, it doesn't matter who the person is, it's supposed to be reciprocal. Now, you know, mind you, even if you're mentoring someone, it's still reciprocal. And if you're mentoring someone, then that means that person is taking what you're telling them and they're using it. Okay, so that's not the same as a person. You know, what drains you is if a person asks you to mentor them, but they're not doing what you're telling them to do. Don't ask me to coach you or mentor you if you're not going to follow the instructions. The steps are not going to be easy. They're going to take effort because you're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to change some of the things that you're doing. You have to change some of the patterns, some of the thinking. The way that you think has to change in order for you to go to another level or to change your life. You can't think the same and expect new things. That's insanity. And so when people will ride you. I think about the commercial about the Tootsie Roll Pop that used to come on, and the owl, and they say, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? And the person gives up their Tootsie Roll Pop. See, the owl took their Tootsie Roll, and then he licks it and sucks it and breaks it and eats it up. So if you look like a sucker, people will lick you, and they will take everything from you. They will, and then they will bite it, chew it up, and throw you away. They don't have any value for you. And so what you have to do is you have to learn that saying no is not a bad thing. Saying no is sometimes helping a person. Saying no means that you're not going to drain me, because see, now you see, you can only give what you have to give. Giving doesn't mean that you go and you drain your life. You don't take away from you and your spouse's 401k or your family's thing, trying to help somebody. If you don't have it, you don't have it, because and it depends, what we're talking about here too. The difference in people who just something happened that they can't control versus as to someone who's doing this to themselves. If they're doing this to themselves, you don't ever put your house in jeopardy, your marriage and the well-being of your children in jeopardy, trying to help someone who does not. That's not something that you really can help, no matter what you gave or what you did. It's not going to change the situation. All you're doing is just you're helping them steal from you, whether it be time, money, whatever it is. So just remember that, guys. Don't feel bad about saying no when it's necessary to say no. You know the person. That's you know them. You know them. And people who love you, they don't just call you when they want something. They call you just because. They bring things to your life. They don't come to take from you. That's not what love does. Love only knows how to give. So when you notice people only take, they don't love you. Love only does one thing. It gives. It does not take away.
Thank you.
Is that yes, and just keep growing in strength, and understand that no is not a bad word. I have two daughters, so I had to start practicing no before they got here, because I know they're going to ask me everything, and I'm not going to be suckered by those pretty eyes and those pouty mouth and all that type of stuff. If I mean no, I mean no. I don't care. I love you to death, but I'm not going to spoil you, because I would ruin you for some future husband. I'm not going to do that. When you don't need it, the answer is no. If the timing is not right, the answer is no. As much as I love my wife and I would give her the world, if it's not right, if it's not the time, if it's not the moment, the answer is no. That's my story, and I'm standing on it. I put my foot down, and I'm not going to move it if it's going to hurt us. No. No, sometimes no is the absolute best thing for that person. If it's a sibling, a friend, doesn't matter. If it's not the right thing for them, if it's not the right thing, if it's not the right time, or if you just can't do it, or if it's not right to do, no. Doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you. It's not the right time. Does anyone else want to talk to
Hello.
me? Hi.
Yeah. I was wanting to comment on just the general work of what goes on the inside of us when we are going through that process of change, and of deciding to change, and of deciding to be victorious when it comes to relationships, this and that and the other. And you said it begins with relationship with God. Without that relationship with God, we will have so many issues with relationships with others, regardless of who they are. And you just mentioned the nucleus family. And then when we start going into that place where, why don't I say no, I know this is bad for me. When we're in a place where I know something's bad for me, but yet I do it anyway, it still goes back to relationship with God. It still goes back to that. And then God will begin to, because it's so personal and unique to you. And that's why he said, come, come, spend some time with me, sit down, open your word. Let me show you your heart. Let me show you, let's put you in the mirror so I can show you the spots, the wrinkles, the blemishes. He so longs to fix it. He so longs to fix it. Just like
Come
we
on.
long to fix our kids' lives.
Mm-hmm.
He so longs to fix us, and so we can have peace. But like you said, it shouldn't have to get to a point where we making mistakes because of ignorance, because we won't take the time out. And he will begin with us. And I know for me, God even allowed me to begin to go back home, to go back to the house, to go back to my upbringing, to go back to, he will point out those specific things, those unique things that only he knows. That's why it's so important to spend time with, because only he knows it. Nobody else knows it, you know. And he will begin to point those out. And the things that he can't say to us, he'll use somebody else's mouth to say it, such as the counselor or, the brother here, and just people in our circle. And because when we have to be built up to be in relationship, I think that, the wisdom on the other side. That's why he said, I want your inward parts to know wisdom. Yeah, that's some deeper parts. That's the part that's like, you don't want to see the truth. You okay with, that kind of stuff, the stuff that, nobody can tell you, like, how did they know I didn't want to see the truth? The Holy Spirit must have told them, you know, and so that's what I'm talking about. Those parts that's inside of you, those parts that was formed in you and you grew up with it, and you are a shell, but all this inward man, this inner person in here has a need for God to build it up, to love on it, to show it what love is, to build strength, inner strength, to build a know. Sometimes you have to build a know.
Yes.
I might be on the part where you put the pen on the paper and it's, you go down one stroke. I'm on that part of the end. I haven't got to a full end yet, let alone the letter O. So sometimes God had to build stuff in us. It's not even there. It's literally missing. What if something is missing in me? That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So I need my heavenly daddy,
Absolutely.
or I would
Absolutely.
tear my life up and my kids' life up. We're going to all walk around jacked up
That's what
because mama won't sit down somewhere and get some lesson. Yeah, that's how
absolutely.
I say, get some lesson. And so
Yes.
God will begin to deal with us in those parts that will build what we need built, that will put in place, that will correct, family. One of the family lines that was really famous was, what goes on in this house stays in this house. That's why it's still a problem. It's because nobody's speaking out. It's because
Absolutely.
nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying ouch. Nobody's saying help. Nobody said, let's go get help. We wanted to stay and we want to cover it. But if you conceal a thing, if you hide it, it can't be healed. I will stay where I'm at because I don't want that part to be exposed. I have to, and so those parts of us, and God will reveal it. What if I deal with shame? What if I deal with I don't want to be embarrassed? What if I deal with I want to save face? All those parts like that, those are inner parts. Well, I want to keep this look up that I'm successful. If I'm going to counseling, somebody gonna know. I don't care what they know. We have to get to a point where it's all about God being glorified, and God is not being glorified if I'm struggling and I'm defeated. He's not being glorified. So what if I don't? We have to get to that part, and so it's a process. And I also wanted to comment on my son. One of the things that God had to teach me, he said, you're not letting him go. You're not giving him to me. That's what he was saying. You're not giving him to me. And I was like, you know what? I can see that because he'll call and ask for something. I pay something. And then next time he lose the thing that I paid for. That's how God began to show me, stop doing what I'm not asking you to do. Because what happened is go down the drain because you want to help. You want to be of assistance. You want to do this. You want to do that. And God said, no, I have a way that I'm going to do it. And what happens is it builds my faith so that God can do the work and show me that he can do it. So how am I going to know if God can do it if I never step back? And so I said, God, how do I do this? And it started in prayer. I said, God, I give him to you. God, I called his name. I give him to you. I was crying, bawling, wailing. It be in them places. I give him to you because this child right here, like Hannah said, it's for this child. I pray. It's for this one the one to keep me on my knees and crying. But you know what? When I put them in the hands of the Lord, when I began to step back, God began to work. God began to do things. Was it known to me what God was going to do beforehand? No. I had to walk the walk. I had to journey it. I had to walk to each door, down the hallway, take a left. It was a journey. It was not overnight. I didn't put my hands, and every time I did, I can't say I didn't put my hands back on him. When I did, God was like, I said, oh, I give him back to you. I give him back to you. I know what I'm supposed to give him back to you. Let me let it go. And another way I knew I was not letting, I was worrying.
Yes.
I was worrying about it. It was on my mind. I couldn't go to sleep. Stuff like that means it's not. So by that confession, I give him to you. There was a release. And sometimes the best stuff, then God can't pull it. He can't retrieve it for us because we haven't released it. So confessing things, confessing where I'm weak. God, I don't know why I want him, but I just want him. But I don't need him, and I give that to you. I'm going to let you come in. You begin with your mouth, and let God begin to bring the heart into agreement with your mouth. Because sometimes you have to be, even that has to be built.
Absolutely.
That has to be built. So, brother, for everything you shared with us, I just wanted to share pieces and parts of the process because that's one of the things I love. I love the process. It's not overnight. Sometimes you have to have people walk with you. Sometimes you have to have a prayer partner and a counselor. You know, somebody who's going to get in with you in the midnight that you can wake up versus somebody who worked at 8 to 5 or you on appointment. But God will show you who they are if you ask. And nobody else gets in that circle. Nobody else. It's very clean, neat, and well, it gets messy actually, but it's very private, you know. And then when it comes to that place of testimonial, you share it. Amen.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. And that's wonderful. Everything that you were sharing with us, and that process, that's what people don't want. They want God to just fix it. And that's the problem. See, it takes me when I need and want and desire for it to be done right way, I have to give it to God. Because if we could fix it in our minds, if we could fix it with our efforts, we would have already done that. We wouldn't need God. We wouldn't need faith. We would have just done that. There are some things that are in your power to do that way. But if I can't fix it, that means that it's only God can fix it. And that doesn't mean that he's not going to use another person, but it may not be me. And so, the hardest thing sometimes for us to let go of course, our children, our spouse, sibling, mother, father. But we have to understand that none of those things belong to us. My daughters don't belong to me. It's my responsibility to raise them for God. They're not mine. I get to raise God's two daughters. They're not mine. I am responsible for them in the earth, but I'm responsible to God for them. I'm raising them unto him. And then they have to choose if they're going to stay with him. I don't own them. They do not belong to me. See, I have to understand that. I had to understand that even when I stood with my oldest daughter and don't know if she's going to live or die. And she's in the hospital and her chest is wide open because they're doing heart surgery on her at 6 months old. And I have to come to understand, God, if you take her home, I have to accept that. Not sit there and think, well, God, I didn't get to see her go to the prom. I didn't get to see her go to get married. I didn't get to walk her down the aisle. None of that matters. That doesn't matter. What matters is if she's with God. And if God would have chose to take her home at 6 months, I had to be okay with that. I had to be okay with that because I know that there's nothing I could do in this world. There's no provision, no love that I could do in this world that could compare to what God is doing for her if God would have taken her on to heaven. There's nothing I could do to love her better than him. Nothing. I had to come to grips with that. I had to make peace with that. I have to understand that when they go in here to do the surgery on my daughter, whom I didn't even know was sick, whom could have died at any moment from birth to that month, that time at 6 months. They said, this is the healthiest sick baby we've ever seen in our lives. There's nothing, no evidence that anything is wrong. But then here we are, my wife and I, we on life flight. We in surgery with this firstborn child. And so you have to understand that if you want to give it to God, you can't get off your knees and take it back. If we get off of our knees and we're still worried about it, we haven't given it to him. He said, cast all your cares on me. All of them. Not give it to me part ways and then you hold the other side like we got a rope and you hold one side and I hold one side. Are you God or am I God? Because there's only one God. So I know you're not God. So why are you telling me about something I already know about? And then you're treating me like I didn't create the world. You're treating me like I didn't put the sun in the sky and the stars. You're treating me like I don't know every hair on your head. You're treating me like I don't know the end of your life. This is how we do God. So yes, that process hurts. You take a grape and you got grape juice. That grape had to be completely destroyed. It had to be completely crushed. Process does not feel good. But oh, how good that juice is. Oh, how wonderful it is. So we have to understand, if God settles it, we have to get to the point in our mind when God says it, that settles it. God, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm sorry. And we have to leave it there. And we have to know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and to them who are called according to his purpose. If you belong to him, it's going to work for your good, even though it hurts like hell. It's going to come out heaven on the other side. There is sunshine. There is light. There is a new day. And if we just remember that, we won't struggle. We won't be going through all of these things. We won't be out there trying to find these alternate routes. We'll understand, wait a minute, God, this is in your hands. And if I put my hand in it, God takes his hand out of it. So we wonder sometimes why we're in situations because you keep putting your hand in there. And you mentioned that. See, when we have to understand, man, these kids, they don't belong to us. We're responsible for them, but they're not ours. They're God's. And we're charged with raising them right. If I do right and I raise them right, I have to trust that, just like when my mom had to trust with me, I would come home and I hear her getting off her knees praying for me because she want me to make it home safe. I take sleep from her. So when we have to understand, that what God says, he's going to do it. He's going to honor the prayers of the righteous. And so we have to believe that, guys. So whatever and whoever, whatever it is that you love, okay, yeah, it hits home when you break it down like that about there is no better home here on earth that we can provide that would be better than being in heaven with our Heavenly Father. Yeah, we have to stop fighting God, guys. We have to stop fighting him. And we have to understand that he knew when I would be born before he ever put one star in the sky. And he knew the day that I would leave here, whether by rapture or by death. He already knew. My responsibility is to know him, to love him, to obey him, to serve him, to do everything I'm created to do. And the reward that he has for us, we won't have any questions, guys, when we get to heaven. We won't have any questions. We won't have any questions. There's no confusion. We will know him as he knows us. That means we'll be one with God. So today, as you go about your way, I hope that God will show you some things in your life that you've been holding on to, that you're trying to help some people that you're not helping them. They're just killing you. I pray that you will have the courage to let those things, to separate and let those things go, that you have the courage and you have the understanding and you accept God's will and you don't keep trying to do what you want to do to fix a thing, but understand that if it's killing you, It's not love. It's not, they don't want help. So as you go about your day, always ask God, what is it that you're saying to me? What is it that you want me to see? What is it that you want me to hear? I want to see and hear what you want to say. I want to hear what you want to say. I want to see what you want me to see, spiritually and naturally. And God, strengthen me, give me courage when I hear you say something, that I don't fight you, that I just say, yes, Lord, and I obey. That's all I want to do, Lord, is live your purpose. I want to live your dream for my life. I want to obey you. I want to do everything that you want me to do in this earth. I want to complete everything. I want to be excellent because I want to follow in your footsteps. Lord, help me. And Lord, anybody that I can't help, that I've tried to help, Lord, I put it in your hands. No matter who it is, Lord, you give me the wisdom what to do. Give me the strength to say no when I need to say no. And help me to understand in my heart that I don't have to feel bad or guilty because I say no when it's the right thing to do. Lord, I love you. I thank you for allowing me to be your child. I thank you for the wonderful plans you have for us, Lord. I thank you for continually showing yourself in our lives. I thank you for that, showing us that when we talk about it, when we reveal it, the enemy can't say anything else. When we say it, he has nothing to say. He has nothing to accuse us of because we said it. When I say it, Lord, it takes the chain, it breaks the chains. So I thank you for giving us the courage to be here, to seek you early, to come together as brothers and sisters wherever we are in the world and talk about things that we need. We're having real conversation, Lord. We're having God purpose conversation. Every person that's under the sound of my voice, God, I pray that you do something amazing in their lives. Show them that you're with them, God. Move strong in their lives. Prove that you're with them, Lord. Bless every area of their lives, faith, family, finance, and health, spiritually and naturally. Go and be great. Walk in the light of the Lord. I love you, but God loves you more. Have a great day.